make your service a truly divine call by making sure that you explore all necessary avenues to resolve any grievances rather than embarking on strike.
Make health service a divine call, a charge from President Buhari to medical practitioners. Senate President Bukola Saraki in closed-door discussion with President Buhari. National Economic Council speaks on the ravaging effects of flood in parts of the country.
Glory of God and comfort of those who will be sleeping in here is this birthday period to declare this state.
And Africa's largest network, Nigerian Television Authority, inaugurates projects to enhance staff welfare. Hello, this is NTN Network News. I'm Joseph Johnson. Dotun Ogunyemi is in Lagos, Vivian Ezedife is in Port Harcourt, and Mohammed Ibrahim is in our Maiduguri Network Center. Glad to have your company. President Muhammadu Buhari this evening granted audience to the Senate President Bukola Saraki at his official residence. State House correspondent Adamu Samba reports that the meeting might not be unconnected with the skillful political maneuvering ahead of Nigeria's 2019 elections.
The Senate President Bukola Saraki is visiting the State House barely 24 hours after his purported engagement on political issues with the leadership of the PDP at his Ilorin residence. In attendance at this meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari were Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the governors of Zamfara, Katsina, Kebbi and Ogun states, as well as the new Ekiti State governor-elect. No reason was given for the meeting, held behind closed doors for about 40 minutes, and the participants declined comments when confronted by newsmen.
The discussion is all about Osun.
All about APC, Osun.
We came to rejoice. We are happy.
President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier received on a thank you visit the governor-elect of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, accompanied by the governors of Kebbi and Ogun states. He congratulated Dr. Fayemi on his well-deserved victory at the polls and urged him to make good his promise of reclaiming Ekiti land and restoring its values. Dr. Fayemi told newsmen that the trust and confidence in him by the people will not be in vain.
For us, it's about total development of our people, human capital development in education, in healthcare, in social services, in infrastructure development. It's the totality of development that we focused on, including provision of food on the table. That's why we increased salaries 3 times in 4 years when we were in office. There was a huge difference between what we did and this governance of lack of salaries, of hopelessness, of helplessness, of despair and despondency. And that is really what our people want to get out of. And that's why we talk about restoring the values of Ekiti and reclaiming the land.
In the meantime, the president received in audience the representatives of the family of the late Dr. Alex Ikweme, former vice president of Nigeria.
As you may all be aware, the former vice president of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ikweme, passed on November 19, 2017. The federal government was gracious enough to give him a befitting state burial. And so we've come as family and the cabinet of Oku community and other chiefs and friends to say thank you.
Professor Ikweme said political issues were not discussed at the meeting with the president.
2019 is coming. Yes. I know you'll be coming to Anambra too.
Yes.
Want to wear the regalia.
Thank you very much.
From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
National Chairman of APC, Comrade Adams Oshomole, says the party could not afford to lose any of its members because of internal crises in some states' chapters of the party. This was when he received Benue State Governor Samuel Otom at the APC National Secretariat. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
For some time now, The national leadership of the APC has reason to worry about the crisis within the party in some states, especially Benue. This development attracted the attention of the party's national leadership, which resolved to tackle headlong all lingering issues. Former Benue State Governor George Akume on Tuesday visited the party's secretariat. So also is Governor Samuel Otom this Thursday, although details of the meeting with George Akume was not known, as he did not respond to questions from newsmen. Governor Otom, on the other hand, responded to questions from journalists, where he reaffirmed his continued loyalty to the APC.
Well, I'm here in APC. I'm a member of APC. I'm still flying the flag of APC. And I only said I was given a red card, but I've been corrected by the National Secretary.
Governor Otom is not going anywhere. He's a very, very prominent member of our party. We appreciate his leadership in Benue, and we will do everything possible to help those who have issues, to have those issues resolved.
Comrade Oshamale says the current NWC under his watch is determined to settle differences among aggrieved members and move on with the task of building the party towards success in future elections. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
To health matters now, medical practitioners in the country have been challenged to make health care service a truly divine call so as to earn and sustain public trust. President Muhammadu Buhari, who threw the challenge at an audience with the national offices of the Nigerian Medical Association, restated his administration's commitment to the universal health coverage through improved budgetary allocation to the sector. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
President Muhammadu Buhari said as a retired military officer, he holds similar perspectives on healthcare with medical professionals that their lives and everything must be dedicated to securing lives and promoting healthy living.
I'd like to urge you that you make your service a truly divine call by making sure that you explore all necessary avenues to resolve any grievances rather than embarking on strike. This will surely earn you trust from the people and government of Nigeria.
He, however, noted with delight that despite prevailing challenges, Nigerian doctors have distinguished themselves in different fields of endeavors, with some hospitals offering cutting-edge services like separation of conjoined twins, open heart surgery, and renal transplant, which ordinarily could have warranted referral abroad.
This administration puts quality health care as a priority. We are surely committed to the realization of universal health coverage. The basic health care provision fund of 51.1 billion naira is in the 2018 budget appropriation, the much talked about 1% in the National Health Act.
The federal government, he said, is considering the Yale Ahmed report as a platform in resolving the interprofessional rivalry in the health sector, while the board of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria will soon be reconstituted. The national president of the Nigerian Medical Association thanked the president for the numerous achievements recorded in the health sector in the last 3 years. These include signing into law the Residency Training Act.
Sorry about the abrupt end to that report. Meanwhile, the 2018 report by the World Health Organization indicates that 1,018 suspected cases of Lassa fever have occurred in 18 states of the Federation, including the FCT. Participants at the ongoing Nigerian Medical Association conference who canvassed urgent need to strengthen prevention and control of the disease say the report shows an increase in the number of cases and deaths in recent weeks. Basi Taekban reports on these and other health concerns discussed at the conference.
Medically established that Lassa fever is contracted by humans through food or use of household items contaminated with rodent urine or feces. Participants at this conference further acknowledged that infection of the disease could spread person to person or laboratory transmission. The theme of the conference, Reversing Nigeria's Poor Health Indices, Role of Stakeholders, participants noted, requires everybody's contribution.
There's nothing you do that doesn't affect health. Do not first of all recognize, like I said there, that health is not only wealth, health is security, health is development.
The best ways to reverse it is to make sure that we empower not only doctors, but even those working at the primary health center.
The issue of Nigerian medical doctors seeking greener pastures outside the shores of Nigeria also came to the fore.
There's a drain already in terms of expertise, so they think bringing it to the fore may help in mitigating the problem.
It appears we're not yet there in terms of manpower, especially facilities, and in terms of welfare, and this we think can be reversed.
The Nigerian doctors at the conference resolved to contribute a quota to strengthen the health sector in the country. Basi Taikban, NTA News.
Now let's get more on health now as we join Dotun in the Center of Excellence, Lagos. Dotun.
Good evening, Joseph. Thanks for joining us in Lagos. 186 newly qualified medical and dental doctors of the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, have been formally admitted into the medical profession. Joy Ken Abakuya, who was at the induction ceremony in Lagos, reports that the new doctors were advised to abide by the ethics of the profession and embrace teamwork to curtail professional rivalry.
That physician's oath, supervised by the Registrar Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, signifies the official induction of 186 new doctors into the nation's medical practice.
It was a very tough journey, very tedious, but we thank God.
Torturous nights, reading back and forth. But yeah, I feel relieved, I feel grateful to God.
I'm happy today is the day when small Dave is now a medical doctor.
Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos, who was represented, and the Provost of the College of Medicine charged the inductees to imbibe the ethics, rules and regulations of the medical practice.
And we are expecting to represent the University of Lagos wherever you go. I want you to work with empathy. I want you to strive to know more and don't think you already know everything.
Other speakers at the event advised the new doctors to carry out their duties with conscience and dignity and always put their patients first.
I am particularly very proud that she's a product of this university. The university competes favorably with its counterparts around the world. So I know that she will do well.
I thank God for giving her the grace to start and to end the program.
Best performing students in the various faculties were presented prizes and awards. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
Investing in the education and development of the girl child is critical to women making their voices heard on issues of social, political, and economic development. Former President of Mauritius, Professor Amina Gurib Fakim, said this at a women empowerment program organized by the Muritala Mohammed Foundation in Lagos. Paul Omukago tells us more.
Speaking on the theme of the 2018 Women Power Launch, Smart Economies, Empowering Women in a Changing World, Professor Amina Gurib Fakim, former President of Mauritius, challenged women to close ranks and show more interest in the education of the girl child. The former president impressed it on the women to be resilient and stand up collectively against all forms of norms, traditions, and cultural rights that relegate women to the background.
Ever again doubt that an African woman cannot become a top engineer, doctor, or that minister, and that she can leave because she has an education.
Former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, described women as politically more reliable and a force to reckon with, noting, however, that they will continue to be shortchanged in the scheme of things nationally unless they unite to fight their common problems.
Women for women is important, but it's not enough. We have to use women for women and use men for women.
Convener of the Women Power Lunch and daughter of the late military head of state, General Murtala Mohammed, speaks on this year's program.
We are the backbone of the economy. We are the backbone of the society. It's time for Nigerian women to be given their rightful place.
The Murtala Mohammed Foundation has been focusing on issues affecting women through enlightenment and vocational training. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
And those are contributions from Lagos. It's back to Joseph in Abuja.
Dotun from our Lagos Network Center there. The National Economic Council says partnership between the federal and state governments has become imperative to address the devastating effect of flooding. The council at its meeting in Abuja also emphasized the need for prison decongestion. State House correspondent Jide Onifade put the available statistics of condemned prison inmates at 2,359 nationwide. Here is Jide's report.
Minister of State for Environment Ibrahim Jibril made a presentation which informed the National Economic Council on the imminent onset of this year's flood season and the need for collaborative partnership between the federal and state governments for immediate intervention on flood prevention, mitigation and preparedness in the country. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano briefed the press on the minister's presentation.
In prayers were arrived at a short time and sustainable way to desilting major tributaries, canals ahead of the flooding session. This is relatively inexpensive and executable within a very short period of time. The council also agreed that there will be need to set up a federal project monitoring unit. Council also approved a project cost sharing ratio of federal government 30%, state government 30%, presidential committee on flood 40% on identified projects.
Council was invited to note the cases of condemned convicts and the role of state governors as statutorily empowered to sign death warrants or commute the death sentence to life imprisonment or exercise powers to grant prerogative of mercy in deserving cases.
Honorable Attorney General proffered the following recommendations to Council. One, that state governors may wish to carry out a review of the cases of condemned convicts within their jurisdiction as enshrined in Section 212 of the 1999 Constitution. Two, that the Nigerian Prison Service to review its policy on interstate transfer of prisons to reduce incidences of prisoners being held outside their state of conviction. And three, cases of convicts imprisoned outside the state of conviction may be forwarded to the governor of the state where they were sentenced for considerations.
The Honorable Minister for Finance also reported the following balances in the various accounts. One, excess crude account, $1 billion, 918 million, 509,918.86. Stabilization fund account, 18 billion, 892 million, 864,216 naira 65 kobo.
Council also noted the progress of the MSME clinics and welcomed the continuation and expansion of the scheme.
The National Economic Council meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Ahead on the news tonight, Senate passes bill on internally displaced persons commission. This and plenty more when we come back.
If you don't get money, hide your face. You can call me small doctor. Omo ya teacher. Once you got penalty, you're throwing.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, in collaboration with the government of Abuja State, invite governors of the 9 states in the Niger Delta region, stakeholders and members of the public to the 3rd National Council on Niger Delta. Theme: Fostering Synergy and Institutional Coordination for Development in the Niger Delta region. Date: 22nd to 27th July 2018. Time: 10 a.m. daily. Venue: International Conference Center, New Ugurube Layout, Umuahia, Abia State. Host: Pastor Usani Uguru Usani, Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Chief Host: Dr. Okezie Victor Ikweazu, Executive Governor, Abia State. Special Guest of Honor: Professor Yemi Oshimbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Aminu Bisala, Permanent Secretary. Announcer. The Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation wishes to notify stakeholders and members of the general public of its public hearing on Nigerian Press Council Act 1992, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2018. Date: 23rd July 2018. Time: 11 a.m. prompt. Venue: Senate Conference Hall, Room 231, New Senate Building, National Assembly, Abuja. Special Guest of Honor: His Excellency Senator Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, President of the Senate. Stakeholders are requested to submit 15 hard copies and 1 soft copy of memoranda to the committee secretariat not later than 23rd July 2018. Soft copies to www.nas.gov.ng. The underlisted institutions are requested to submit memoranda and make presentations at the hearing. For inquiries, please contact the secretariat on the following numbers. Senator Suleiman A. Adokwe, Chairman. Announcer.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
The House Committee on Sports announces the shifted date of its 2-day National Sports Summit, earlier scheduled to hold on July 23rd and 24th, 2018 at Nikon Luxury, Abuja. The shifted date is largely due to the forthcoming African Youth Championship, slated for July 18th to 28th, 2018 in Algiers. A large concentration of stakeholders and sports enthusiasts are expected to be away in Algiers for the championship. The new dates for the summit are 14th and 15th August 2018 at the same venue, Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Inconveniences arising from these are highly regretted. For more information, please contact Okeyinka Matthew, Global Sports Consult, 0818-5522-268, 0805-328-3336. Suleiman Fatai, Clerk, House Committee on Sports, 0806-7713-438, 0818-5568873.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
You're watching NTN Network News with me, Joseph Johnson. Now let's take you back to one of our main stories in which we told you that medical practitioners in the country have been challenged to make healthcare service a truly divine call so as to earn and sustain public trust. President Muhammadu Buhari, who threw the challenge at an audience with the national officers of the Nigerian Medical Association, restated his administration's commitment to the universal health coverage through improved budgetary allocation to the sector. State House correspondent Adamu Samba reports now.
President Muhammadu Buhari said as a retired military officer, he holds similar perspectives on healthcare with medical professionals that their lives and everything must be dedicated to securing lives and promoting healthy living.
I'd like to urge you that you make your service a truly divine call by making sure that you explore all necessary avenues to resolve any grievances rather than embarking on strike. This will surely earn you trust from the people and government of Nigeria.
He, however, noted with delight that despite prevailing challenges, Nigerian doctors have distinguished themselves in different fields of endeavors, with some hospitals offering cutting-edge services like separation of conjoined twins, open heart surgery, and renal transplant, which ordinarily could have warranted referral abroad.
This administration puts quality healthcare as a priority. We are surely committed to the realization of universal health coverage. The basic healthcare provision fund of 51.1 billion naira is in the 2018 budget appropriation, the much talked about 1% in the National Health Act.
The federal government, he said, is considering the Yale Ahmed report as a platform in resolving the interprofessional rivalry in the health sector, while the board of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria will soon be reconstituted. The national president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Francis Adedayo Faduyule, had earlier thanked the president for the numerous achievements recorded in the health sector in the last 3 years. These include signing into law the Residency Training Act, improvement in the nation's immunization level, and due diligence in either assenting or withholding assent to bills with the overall interest and implications to Nigeria as underlying considerations.
We are advocating for a review of the National Health Insurance Act, sir, to make it mandatory to all Nigeria. This will make it a duty for every citizen to enroll and to have a positive effect in giving adequate care and treatment to the enrollees, while ensuring availability of funds to purchase equipment and improve health facility infrastructure.
Dr. Faduyule, on behalf of the association, used the opportunity to give a pass mark to the National Emergency Management Agency for promptly responding to emergency situations in the country at all times.
And we wish to say that the Nigerian Medical Association wish to partner with the agency, and we are ready to volunteer our members and our expertise to help to suit all the pains and other things that affect our citizens during emergency period.
The Nigerian Medical Association also made a case for, among others, staffing of the primary healthcare centers, universal applicability of remuneration of medical and dental professionals at all levels, as well as the establishment of health bank to allow professionals obtain loans to improve their facilities for better healthcare services in Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now let's shift our attention to Anambra State, where the federal government says it is prepared to tackle the many perennial ecological challenges ravaging many communities in Anambra State. Minister of Interior Lieutenant General Abdulrahman Dambazao stated this during the handover of erosion control works in the state. Ndem Kalu reports.
Project, which is one of the ecological intervention projects approved by President Muhammadu Buhari in October 2016, was awarded in March 2017 to check flooding and erosion menace in these communities. Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdulrahman Dambazao, noted that the federal government intervention will bring relief to the communities which have for a long time been ravaged by this ecological monster, adding that no part of the country will suffer neglect owing to its geographical location.
Successful completion of this project would enhance the living standard of the people around the community and its surrounding. This would at the same time reduce dangers to lives and properties associated with erosion and persistent flooding that had been experienced in recent times.
Anambra State Governor, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelo, commended the federal government for the intervention and solicited more support in other challenges facing the state.
Once again, I'd like to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, working through the Ecological Office, for approving and seeing to the completion of these two projects.
For protection and sustainability of the projects, the Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund Office, who was represented by Deputy Director in the Ministry, Udochi Umachuku, urged the host communities to take ownership of the project. From Nobi in Idemili South Local Government Area, Ndem Kalo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of chief executive officers of 3 agencies under the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation names Engineer Umar Al-Baraka Hassan as the Director General of the National Steel Raw Materials Exploration Agency, Kaduna, while Engineer Linus Okona-Sukwo is the new DG of the National Metallurgical Development Center, JOS. Also appointed is Professor Suleiman Balaji Hassan as the Director General of the Nigeria Institute of Mining and Geosciences, JOS. All the appointments take effect from July 12, 2018. To legislative matters now. Senate passes the bill for an act to establish the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the new commission is to replace the National Commission for Refugees.
In 2004, the National Assembly enacted the National Commission for Refugees Act with a mandate to handle refugee matters. 14 years on, the Senate argues that the functions of the Commission is not comprehensive enough, as its mandate does not cover internally displaced persons and therefore seeks to establish a new commission that will fill the gap.
Broaden the mandate of the Commission to accommodate internally displaced persons in Nigeria. Mr. President, if you look at this bill, there really is no correlation between the instant act and the committee recommendations. When you want to amend, is when you have to compare the existing law with the amendment. This is a complete, we are repealing, so it's like a new bill.
This one issue of migration and internally displaced persons had the capacity to undo the world.
I want to suggest that after the chairman to consist of 6 people, 1 at least from each geopolitical zone.
Bills on the establishment of the Agency for National Ethics and Values and the National Commission for Peace, Reconciliation and Mediation were also passed.
Of the bill will place more emphasis on prevention of unethical behaviors in Nigeria.
In its resolve to provide a legal framework that will transform postal service in Nigeria, the Senate also passed a bill seeking to repeal the Nigeria Postal Service and reenact Nigeria Postal Commission. It also passed the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency Amendment Bill.
To cover the provision of the Postal Service to unserved and undeserved rural communities and to promotion of small and medium-scale enterprise within the postal industry.
This particular bill happens to fall within the economic bills that will move this country forward.
Bill for an act to repeal the Nigeria Postal Services Act, Cap N 127 LFN 2004, to provide for the operations and development of postal services, the establishment of the Nigerian Postal Commission, and for related matters is already third time and passed. Of a chairman,
President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Senate requesting the confirmation of chairman and members of the governing board of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency. Senate President Bukola Saraki granted audience to the Secretary General of the African Parliamentary Union, Nzi Kofi, who came to seek cooperation of the National Assembly for the upcoming African Parliamentary Union Conference in Abuja. The Senate President assured him of Nigeria's commitment in the cause of ECOWAS and the rest of Africa. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And ensuring equitable spread of educational institutions across Nigeria is essential to achieve uniform socio-economic growth and development of all communities. This was the consensus of members of the House of Representatives while debating the bills seeking to make provisions for the establishment of federal tertiary institutions in Borno and Rivers states. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The first was a bill for an act to make provisions for the establishment of a federal polytechnic in Goza, Borno State, sponsored by Representative Asabe Velite Bashir, as well as a bill for an act to establish Federal University Omoku, River State, sponsored by Uchechukwu Namodi. The lawmakers said genuine requests should be prioritized by government, especially for educationally disadvantaged areas.
Borno State has only one federal university, and that is University of Maiduguri.
It will not only create employment, it will create access to education.
Education will be that channel through which we will bring about some level of understanding and upliftment of our general thinking.
Both bills were separately passed at second reading, referred to House Committee on Tertiary Education Services. Members at Thursday's plenary also resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate revenue leakages in the mining sector. As according to Representative Johnson Agbonema, Nigeria has lost over 8 trillion naira in gold tax revenue and illegal mining, while Representative Diri's request on the need to investigate processes of acquisition of license and operation of Nigeria marginal oil fields be investigated was also adopted. The lawmakers also supported Representative Suleiman Salisu Jibia's demand that the National Emergency Management Agency provide relief materials to victims of the recent rainstorm in Jibia, Katsina State, which claimed over 50 lives and destroyed property. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In other news, the Nigeria Police Force says it will continue to deploy cutting-edge technology in maintaining the country's internal security in line with international best practices and the rule of law. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris reaffirmed this while inaugurating the Special Tactical Squad office at Gusape in Abuja. Olajide Bello has details.
Of our effort to tackle crime and criminality in Nigeria.
Commending his personnel's dogged fight against crimes in the country, the IGP says the force will continue to provide adequate logistics for effective discharge of their constitutional responsibilities. Describing the successful, effective policing in the just concluded Ekiti governorship elections, he said the force will continue to encourage civil-military relationship for enhanced information sharing and gathering.
These units, I must say, have actually been very instrumental. The successes made so far by the Nigerian Police Force under my watch in the arrest of suspected terrorists, armed robbers, kidnappers, and cattle rustlers. The decision to build these offices of this unit is to provide comfortable office accommodation for the staff to make them more effective in the performance of their duties.
The police says the inauguration of the Special Tactical Squad complex with the state-of-the-art facilities will further boost security within the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In its continuous effort towards achieving full digitization and improving its contents to international standard, the management of the Nigerian Television Authority has again distributed digital transmission equipment to all its network stations across the country. The management also inaugurated a 10-room NTA lodge and additional 2 brand-new buses for conveying members of staff. Omenka Marachuku has more.
Of those who will be traveling in these 2 buses, it gives me great pleasure to launch the 2 buses.
The idea of providing NTA staff with the accommodation was conceived considering the 24-hour NTA's nature of work, which made the staff to close late from office. This necessitated the management decision to provide this edifice with the state-of-art facilities. This is part of effort to provide a conducive environment for maximum productivity by staff.
I want to make this special request to all who will be sleeping in this place or will be using these buses. Maintenance is very, very essential. You don't want to come back here in about a year's time to discover that the infrastructures there are not working or they have been spoiled.
In spite of the demoralizing situation we face as media people, NTA staffers are never discouraged. They keep on giving their very best to the nation. We all know that without a happy workforce, no leadership can deliver on set goals. And this is why it makes sense to do everything possible to provide every possible support to encourage you people, especially in a specialized profession like broadcasting, where we work 24 hours non-stop.
With this boost by the management, members of staff promise more commitment to duty.
NTA is emphasizing capacity building because we believe it's critical towards the effective coverage of 2019 elections and related matters.
We're in the digital era. The pictures, the audio quality will come alive with this digital equipment. When it comes to the reach, we have it. So we just need to beef up on the equipment area. This is what we're doing.
The equipment will go a long way to enhance our performance, no doubt about that. It will change completely our operations in NTA Port Harcourt Network Center.
All the zonal network centers benefited from the digital equipment distribution. In Abuja, Omenka, Marchuku, NTA News.
Certainly a cheering news for all members of staff of the NTA. Now, former Inspector General of Police and Chairman Arewa Consultative Forum, Ibrahim Kumasi, has died in Katsina at the age of 76. He was the 9th indigenous Inspector General of Police who served between 1993 and 1999. Born in Katsina, Alhaji Kumasi attended Barewa College, Zaria, among other institutions. The late Ibrahim Kumasi will be buried tomorrow after Jamaat prayer at Banu Kumasi Jamaat Mosque, Katsina. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with the family, governor and people of Katsina State over the demise of his classmate and former Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Hamadu Kumasi. The president extolled the virtues of the late chairman of Arewa Consultative Forum, saying Nigeria will never forget the excellent leadership he gave to the Nigeria Police Force. For many years, he served as IGP. President Buhari, on behalf of government and people of Nigeria, prayed Almighty Allah to grant him eternal rest and the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Guests on NTA's current affairs program, Moment for Thought, have emphasized the importance of checks and balances as the beauty of democracy that has played out well in governance for overall growth.
The executive is simply supposed to say, this is the best I want to do for the people. I'm holding the purse of the money. I'm holding the money.
Yes.
The legislature is supposed to say, look, that money you are holding is not your own. No. Don't do that for that area.
And this is the best way to go about getting good and desirable outcomes and results. Because if the legislature does its work and the executive does its own, the convergence will produce what you desire, that is making governance meaningful for the people.
The program comes up tonight at 11:30 on the network service of the NTA. The Nigerian Navy attacks illegal refiners on black soot. For details of these and more, let's join Vivian in our Port Harcourt Network Centre. Vivian, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joseph, and welcome to Port Harcourt. The appearance of soot, or black soot, as it is popularly known in local parlance in Rivers State, raised greater concerns over causative factors like illegal oil refining in the state. On Nigeria Fine Face report on latest efforts deployed by the Nigerian Navy in Rivers State to eradicate the unwholesome practice using ecosystem-friendly methodology.
The incremental preponderance of illegal crude oil refining over time exposed rivers to hydrocarbon pollution. The process of localized refining released billows of smoke into the atmosphere, which is descending on the state as soot. Aware of the destructive consequence of exposure to the soot, the Nigerian Navy adopted new measures to destroy facilities used for illegal refining without setting them ablaze.
When you think about buying the entire network that we have mangled, I think it is such that they will have a serious rethink.
Close to Bolo community, for instance, a major illegal refining site has been completely reduced to shutters, with its equipment being ferried away as scrap metals. Members of the Bolo community accept this initiative as an environmentally friendly and viable means to end the practice of illegal refining.
The ecosystem is being damaged because of this illegal bunkering. Now that the government have stopped it, we are very grateful, but we need jobs, we need employment.
Although the sites used for illegal oil refining activities around Bolo community and River State have been destroyed, the community still suffers from huge hydrocarbon pollution. It is little wonder the people of this community accept wholeheartedly the idea of the Nigerian Navy to use swamp boogie to destroy those facilities rather than setting them ablaze. On Nengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
The Joint Task Force, JTF, accompanied by the former governor of Bayelsa State, Timipre Silva, has taken the campaign against illegal bunkering and crude oil theft to Bile Kingdom, Degema local government area of Rivers State. Robinson Darateda reports that the event was used to destroy some illegal refining sites in the area.
Bile Kingdom in Degema local government area of River State is alleged to operate some of the largest illegal refineries in the Niger Delta region. The challenge of the military to end economic sabotage, therefore, is beyond destruction of refining sites, as perpetrators keep devising different means to continue the illegal business. The visit of former Bayelsa State Governor Timipre Silva to Bile Kingdom, therefore, is to speak to the conscience of the chiefs and youths to save the already polluted environment from further devastation.
I have come here today to come and let our people know the dangers of these illegal activities. And of course, to enlist their support in the fight against illegal refineries and illegal bunkering.
Residents of Bile Kingdom commended the former governor for the move, while also raising concern about the need for shore protection, land reclamation, and siting of modular refineries in the area, promising to join hands in the fight against illegal refineries.
Our youth should be gainfully employed so that it will necessitate us to go back to that illegal activities again.
The team also destroyed some illegal refineries in the area. From Bile in River State, Robinson Derateide, NTA News.
And that's it from Port Harcourt. It's over to you, Joseph.
Thank you, Vivian. Well, do stay with us here in NTN Network News as we take another short break. We'll be right back.
The Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SunCap and ManCap to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Brought us as usual.
As usual.
For the three people.
You are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of milk in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Many thanks, Sustain. University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital to undertake endoscopic surgery as federal government provides equipment. Mohammed brings us details from our Maiduguri Network Center.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Maiduguri. About 5,000 farmers from 14 local government areas of Borno State displaced by Boko Haram insurgency have received livelihood support towards ensuring food security for the IDPs, host communities and returnees. The support came from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, Climate Change Adaptation and Agribusiness Support Program, IFAD-CASP, which launched the distribution of farming inputs to ensure IDPs participate fully in this year's rainy season farming. Jesse Tafida reports.
Victims of the insurgency are starting all over, having left their farms and communities for years. Improved seedlings, fertilizers, oxen block for cultivation and extension services are the first step to ensure agricultural practice is provided and sustained for bumper harvest. Flagging of the distribution of the farming inputs and agricultural materials, Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima, represented by his deputy Usman Momondrukwa, expressed delight with the efforts of IFA-TASP in providing the support, describing it as timely. National Coordinator IFA-TASP, Lawan Mohammed later said 727 persons from 14 local government areas of Borno State are expected to benefit from the program. He added that 4,000 IDPs households will be receiving a bag of fertilizer each, assorted seedlings and animals to start breeding, among other agricultural support. On his part, Borno State Commissioner of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammad Aliu Dili said the distribution items will go a long way in turning around the agricultural sector worst affected by the years of insurgency. In Maiduguri, I am GSC Tafida, NTA News.
As part of strides by the President Muhammadu Buhari administration to reposition the health sector, the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital is continuing to overcome the challenges of insurgency and the growing needs for medical services. In addition to effort to establish trauma center, the institution is sustaining specialist health services in endoscopy surgery using modern techniques and facilities. Amina Fidi Ahmadu has the report.
One of the revolutions in the institution's service delivery is the laparoscopic surgical procedure, providing minimal invasive treatment of major health concerns. The endoscopic surgery complex is equipped with modern facilities and professionals for various procedures in different specialist sections. The tertiary institution has continued to train professionals for specialist services with the modern equipment acquired by the hospital, as well as sustain services for the entire Northeast with constant influx of victims of insurgency. It is in that regard that the new board of management of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, led by the chairman Hadi Ukshatu had in its maiden visit to the institution praised the effort of the Chief Medical Director, Professor Abdurrahman Tahir, and his team.
A research institution, but at the same time it's run like a general hospital because they have never turned down any patient. He has set a standard, and anybody who comes in here cannot but improve on those standards. Otherwise, you're going to have it tough with the board.
A committed and motivated staff is the engine that propels any organization to the desired height.
The board members had taken time to visit key medical facilities and specialist units. In Maiduguri, Amina Fidi Ahmadu, NTA News.
That does it for our contribution. It's now back to Joseph in Abuja.
Mohammed, thank you. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, in line with its mandate to provide affordable housing to Nigerians, says it has disbursed over 1 billion naira to officers and men of the Federal Road Safety Corps, which has the highest number of contributors to the NHF scheme. This was when the Corps Marshal of the FRSC paid the Mortgage Bank a visit to strengthen the existing relationship and partnership in provision of housing needs for the Corps. Justin Bem-Unyi reports.
The Federal Road Safety Corps boss, Boboye Oyeyemi, was at the mortgage bank not only to make a case for an extension of the bank's services to the very lowest cadre of the Corps, but also to appreciate and forge ahead the established partnership both institutions have. He pointed out housing to be one major challenge that needs attention, especially as it affects public servants.
So when I came on board, we have a workforce of 21,000, and I said, this from 20,000, one man, one house. And I came here to the Federal Mortgage Bank, and the then MD gave us a platform that all the existing projects of FMBN nationwide we can key into it. Today is a success story.
Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria commended the effort of the corps under Boboye to ensure the welfare of staff. He restated the mandate of the bank, which focuses on affordable housing for Nigerian workers, and disclosed how the bank has so far disbursed to 202 beneficiaries the NHF loan for purchase of houses amounting to 1.25 billion naira. The bank targets 350 officers of the corps to benefit from the loans.
It's not worth it for you to know that we are also processing 620 million now, awaiting disbursement for home renovation.
Justin Bem-Unyi, NTA News.
Let's talk sports now. FIFA judges Nigeria 25th best team at World Cup as Scrabble Federation targets talents at the grassroots. Kene Emma Abudike brings us up to speed on Sports Update.